And I know different types of people will have different things they're concerned about. Straight guys will be like, will there be video games after capitalism? Oh god! And yeah, there will be. Tetris is a Soviet game, and it's one of the best games of the 80s. Some of the stuff we like could probably even be improved if it were liberated from capitalist pressure.
The answer to that question is no, there wouldn't, because it's all part of capital, and that capital stems from capitalism. You see, it was capitalism that made it possible for you to be able to, produce all of these things. And the only reason why the Soviet Union had lasted as long as it did was because the West was funding it. These video games are produced by all of these private companies. If you want to put it down into central planning, how's the central planner going to know what the needs and wants are of all these gamers are? They're not going to know. They don't know anything. They're clueless. The people who know best are the gamers themselves. That's who knows best. They're the ones who drive production through their demand. They get feedback from people to find ways to improve games, to find out what people want. That's how the games improve. And actually, and this is quite a good one of the all-time greats that I actually still play is Roller Coaster Tycoon 3. It's fucking amazing, that game. When these game designers go down the road of going on the path of their own and ignoring their consumers, they don't do very well.
I mean, look what capitalism and the pressure to turn a profit has done to movies.
When you say that profits is not the reason for why things improve, that's looking at the word profits in a black and white picture view, and it's also ignoring the importance of losses. Prices are not obstacles to getting things that you want, and like I said, I'm going to explain in a video on the economic calculation problem. The reason why profits and losses are so important is because they are the two most important pieces of information that you gather from prices. And they are signals. So what information do we gather from the information of profits? Profits tells us what to produce more of. It tells us how much to produce. It tells us what resources to use. It tells us where to allocate the valuable scarce resources. And it tells us what to invest more in. And the only way that you'll get that information of profits is consumer demand. So the very people who are telling the game designers, here is what we want, that's the people who are telling these businesses, this is what we want more of. And how do they do that? They go into the stores, they go into the game stores, they pick up the games that they love, and they buy it. And through high demand, the producers then see, okay, at the end of each month, they can then see, here's what is selling most of, and here's what is not selling. So what's that information telling the producer? It's telling the producer, here is where our profits are, here is where our losses are. The incentive for businesses to make profits stems from where consumers are buying from. What incentive do producers have to produce what is not selling? There's no incentive to do so.
The most offensive thing about the Golden Pizza is ultimately that the $2 pizza is actually better. The Golden Pizza is an affront not just to the people whose medical bills it could have paid, but it's an affront to gustatory pleasure itself. So I guess my final take here is, actually, champagne socialism is good. But I'm not talking about the champagne classes becoming socialist. I'm talking about redistributing the goddamn champagne.
So basically that's the end of ContraPoints' argument on what's wrong with capitalism, the critique of capitalism in other words, and I've covered in each part on the consumerism and on efficiency and everything else to do with, capitalism. And at the end of the day, if you've taken something from it, then, fantastic. I will, of course, cover on the economic calculation problem, which will address a lot of, the reason why socialism is so problematic, and it does relate to the very reason why socialism cannot be democratic, why it cannot be libertarian, why it goes down that road that it's got no other option but to either give up on socialism or go down the road of totalitarianism. and for why it ends in absolute disaster, in the absence of the information of prices. But anyway, folk, I hope you've taken stuff from it, and of course, thank you for watching my video, and I shall talk to you later. Cheers.